Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi, I'm Lisa Ackberry, your hair doctor, and yes, I have my fro today. I hope you're doing well. I'm excited about today's show, and just excited always about seeing you guys because it's just always great. And yes, I feel like I can see you. Well, we're continuing our book, Every Woman's Guide to Beautiful Hair at 88. The book. And I'm going to get your questions in first. Let's see. And also, I'm going to open my Gmail account because a lot of the emails come to that. And I have had some problems with my Lisa Ackberry account. So hopefully all of that will be fixed this week. So if I missed your email, I apologize. But let's start with, let's get this one over. Okay, let's start with your comments or questions from last week. Okay, it says, hello, Dr. Ackberry. It's always a pleasure watching your videos. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoy them because this is so important to me. And y'all have heard me say it over and over, so I won't say it again, but I thank you. Okay, I don't know if you remember me, but I wrote to you about the crown thinning out. Then I told you about the stress that I've been going through and asked could it be something to do with my stress. You said that yes, stress has a lot to do with your hair, but it could be something on the inside as well, part one. And she said, so I went online and brought some biotin, MSM, and fish oil capsules. I thought it would be a good idea to take these supplements and attack the inside so that I could see the beauty of my hair. I'm very happy now because my hair is not much longer but fuller. My only problem is the crown catching up with the rest of my hair. My daughter helps me pick out my crown when I wear it out. I always appreciate your advice. Please tell me what I could do because it's frustrating. God bless you, Sharon. Okay, Sharon. Listen, yes, I get so many emails, and I remember your email. One of the things that I was trying to say to you at the time, and we just want to kind of go into this just a little bit more this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, whenever you're listening to it. I wanted you to know that there's external and internal follicular problems. If it's internal, then the follicle itself may be malfunctioning because of something that's going on within the system. But we have to be sure that that's what's happening. The way you'll know, and the way I know as a trichologist, is to examine microscopically, view the actual mouth of the follicle or the follicular units, check, look at the hairs, look at the size of the hairs to see if they're villous, if they're lacking color, if we have some density inconsistencies within our follicular units, which means you have several units, but the units have 2 follicles with hairs emerging, another unit may have no follicles with hair emerging, or 1 follicle or 4 follicles with hairs emerging. We just need to see that. Also look at the skin to see if there's any damage there. So my recommendation over everything I've said to you is to find a trichologist, one that uses a handheld microscope to do a microscopic and physical examination of the scalp to check your density. Now, with that being said, I know that it's going to be difficult because we don't have a lot of trichologists in the country and outside of the country that will do this type of examination, have this kind of focus as they're examining. But you'll have to check and see. Just do your research and keep until you find it. You're welcome to come to Memphis, Tennessee, which is where I'm located, to my clinic. And if that's not convenient or possible, then I highly recommend that you keep on searching. Okay? And I'm going to be praying for you, Sharon. Thank you for sharing your name. So I will definitely be praying for you specifically about this. Okay. And finding an individual. Hi, Dr. Ackberry. You look fab. Cute earrings and hair. Well, I have the little ones on today, and I was thinking, these are so small, and I'm wearing my big fro. I was wondering, will it cover it up? But then I thought, okay, I'll pull back a little bit because these actually are my favorite. But the other earrings I like to wear, just, you know, because they're just so big. And I like those. But anyway, thank you. Okay, it says, you look beautiful, great videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I always say Nikki Love. That's what I call her. But anyways, so thank you. You are just a wonderful person. Alright. I believe that you are wonderful too. I haven't met you, but it's your title is Terrific Lady. Thank you with the title like that and the name like that. You're wonderful. But you know, you all are wonderful because I look forward to these Thursdays. I am so incredibly busy. I have so much going on right now. But Thursdays, I have to do it. I have to stop. I have to say, world, stop. I've got to go talk to my cyber family. And that's what I do. So you guys are wonderful as well. Hi, Dr. Agrier. Thank you so much. I thank you so much. You're much needed knowledge about hair care. Okay, I just messed that sentence up. It says, my friend and I will be there soon. Oh, so you're coming to see me. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, can't wait to meet you in person. I am so excited about my hair and how well it's doing. My question is, does slightly blow drying the hair damage the hair? I love to blow dry my hair for length and because of the tangles, which really aren't that bad. Okay, now that I use your hair vitamins, love the hair vitamins. I love them too. I use them every night. Love all your products. Well, oh, that's so sweet. Now, we can't turn into an infomercial, but yes, thank you so much. Listen, I'm so excited about meeting you as well. I just wanted to say about blow drying. Blow drying is one of those. It's an indirect heat, and I always speak about we want the heat as indirect as possible. But we also need to be careful when we're putting pressured heat or even indirect heat where it's causing pressure to the hair. In other words, number one, you have to make sure that when you use a blow dryer, you do not dry from wet to dry. You put in your hair vitamins. Since you're using it already, I'll use that product as an example because you need to get leave-in. You put your hair vitamins on after you towel blot the excess water, and put the hair vitamins on, and then you blot it, and you put your hair vitamins on and let them sit. You want to give it an opportunity about, I would say, anywhere from 60 seconds to 3 minutes. Then you fan dry your hair. And what you're doing is you're letting that hair vitamin close into those bonds, because those top bonds need to reform and dry a little before you attack with the blow dry. And I use attack, but you know. And then afterwards, you're ready to blow dry. You can use a comb attachment. Never use a brush, because the brush will pull and tangle. You can use a comb attachment, but you need to make sure that you're not combing and yanking tangles with it. Okay? So you want to take it, you want to part in 4 parts, making sure your fingers and thumb and party, and then you take one section at a time and you go through it and you can dry it. But you never want to dry from wet to dry, and you never want to make sure that you're raking through a tangle because you'll create a tear. Wet to dry, you'll cause the hair to create these what's called bubble hair. It's where the hair literally boils because it's so sopping wet, and then you have the blow dry and that heat, and it heats up that water, and it just starts to boil into the cortex, and you don't want that. So you want to make sure, and it creates these little weak points all through your shaft. So never dry from wet to dry. You don't want to use the comb attachment to pull out tangles, even though if you put the comb there and use the heat, it will pull the tangle, because the risk of microscopic tears and burning the hair are there. They're very great. Okay? Alright, so we're going to do one more. Let's see. Okay, let's get into our email box and let's see what we have, because I had several emails and I thought, well, shoot, I need to try and answer some of these questions. trichology. Alright, and let's get another. Let's try to get the most recent. We'll just get one of the most recent ones. Oh, here's live chat. It says, I believe I have alopecia. I have a significant amount of hair loss on the crown of my head. My hairline going around to the nape of my neck is fine. If it is alopecia, will the hair that is lost ever grow back? And that's a really big question. We hear the same question over and over again. People are just confused as it relates to alopecia. Alopecia, of course, is baldness. So anytime you have hair loss to the point where you can see your scalp, and as long as, or any hair loss where it's gone, where you cannot see any hairs around it, it's alopecia. You can have developing alopecia because of density changes, then that would be a developing problem. But if it's a circle or if it's a complete area with this ball, doesn't matter how small, then it's alopecia. Now, there are two categories of alopecia. There's inner follicular alopecia and there's external follicular. Inner follicular alopecia is going to be where the follicle itself, the area where the hair is produced or the hair is developed or develops, is malfunctioning. Now that can happen because of medication, stress, diet. It can happen because of hormonal imbalances. It can happen because of DHT, the production of it, causing that miniaturization process and causing the follicle to malfunction. It can come from illnesses. And so I would recommend you start with your first, this is what I recommend. That you start with a self-examination. That means that you want to look in the mirror, find the Christmas tree type part or the openings. In other words, where you see less hair on the scalp. And then I recommend you have your stylist help you in some cases if you're not able to see certain areas like the back. And then the next person would be a trichologist. And the trichologist will let you know if your next practitioner will be someone like herself who can actually treat, or himself, that can treat the problem, or they'll let you know if it's a dermatologist that you need, if there's scalp disease present, or if you need an endocrinologist. But a primary care physician will always parallel all of this, because your primary care physician is the one that's going to really, is the one that takes care of you all the time and do all the basic tests and the checkups and things like that. So you definitely always want to involve them. Now if it's external follicular hair loss, then it's probably going to be hair loss because of some type of damage that was done to the skin. Now if it's done to the skin, we have to see if it's in the 1st degree level or in the 2nd degree level. 1st degree is just like a burn, meaning on the epidermis only, which means that you can recover from that kind of hair loss. It'll look bald, it's scary, sometimes shiny, but it can be scalp plugs or ingrown hairs. Chronic, it may be, but nevertheless, it's something that can be reversed. Or it could be something that's more permanent, where you've lost the follicle. Cicatricial, where the inflammatory cells have developed in the area where the follicle actually produces the hair, which is somewhat external and internal, but it manifests externally in scar tissue. So you've lost the follicle. Or you've had 2nd degree skin damage, as I was about to say, which is all of that under that umbrella of cicatricial, 2nd degree, it's all kind of in there together. Well, that would mean that you've lost the follicle because of 2nd degree skin damage. You've actually damaged in the area where the hair is developed, which means that you've scarred and lost the follicle. The examinations will help. So I would recommend highly that you check that. Okay? Alright, so let's get to the book. The book. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. I think let's see where we start, because I usually mark my space, because I will absolutely forget. I should be coming here with this making the change. I think we talked about just various things, and one of the things that, let's go back and let's take a look here. Helping women to stop losing their hair. Yeah, that was one of the things that, yes, I wanted to make sure I could do and offer. So let's talk about what happens before making a hair change, because I think that as I was saying before, a lot of the problems come when we make these hair changes and we don't know about the change that we're about to make, whatever it may be, whether it's a relaxer, a color, or even transitioning. We can lose hair because we don't really know how to make that change. So I'm going to talk about that today. Okay, before making the hair change, and I'm going to read it as I told you before. I like to do that because I wrote it, and I wrote it with order. So I want to read it because I tend to be all over the place because I'm so excited about the knowledge I'm giving you. So I want to make sure I stay orderly. Okay, before changing your hair in any way, first ask yourself some simple questions. And get a pen and paper. Come back and read. If you're looking at this and you don't have pen and paper, pause it, go get it, and write this. Or get my book, because it's right in the book. Everyone's Guide to Beautiful Hair at Any Age. Okay, and this is something, let me just say this. If we think about advertising for something, like I never want my educational videos, which is and my way I communicate with you, to turn into an infomercial, but when it comes to books, I will definitely turn it into an infomercial. You need to read. There's power in knowledge. And you can go back and reference these things. So I definitely want you to get the book. Okay, so let's look. It says, before changing your hair, as I said, you want to ask yourself some simple questions and do an overall self-examination. Very important. First, you want to ask yourself, why am I making the change? Simple. Why am I making the change? Am I making the change because I really desire it, because I feel pressure to it by a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, or I feel I'm making the change because what will be our other reason? Our job? Am I making the change because I'm just bored? Why am I making the change? Is my hair and scalp ready for the change? Can they survive this change? Ask yourself, am I changing? But I'm saying, well, you know, my hair is damaged, so I'm going to change. Is my hair ready for this change? Okay. Is this hair change really what I want? Or do I feel forced, as I was saying earlier? Is this change safe? And that's really a crucial question. You have to answer that. Is it something that's safe? Because a lot of times we'll say, well, you know, I hope my hair doesn't become damaged. No. Do the research. Most of the changes you can make, you just have to prepare your hair for it. How will this change affect my hair and scalp? These are simple questions. How will it affect my hair and scalp? If I don't like the change, this is a big one. Am I willing to stay with the change until my hair and scalp is ready for a change back? That's what I call it, a change back, because that's what it is. Or yet another change. So you have to ask yourself, because if you say, well, you know what, I want to wear color. I wear my hair natural and I want color. Alright, I don't like that color. And then we go, I've had patients to come in, and that's what they've done. They have natural hair. They said, well, you know, I got a color, I didn't like the color, so I put another color on, and I didn't like that color, and I put another one. See, you never check to see if your hair was ready, and that's important. Okay, and then they found themselves with hair loss, or in my clinic, which, you know, you don't, if you pay attention and make sure you're ready, and we'll talk about how to get ready. Have I found the correct hair care professional for this change? Let's talk about this for a minute. Hair care professionals are specifically designed or made or are here already to help you with certain changes. But you have to find the right one. You have to find one that can do your particular change or make your particular change and keep your hair safe. You can ask around. You can look at folks' hair and say, you mind if I touch it? When you touch someone's hair and they're making a recommendation, their hair should feel soft. Their hair should have a natural shine. I don't care if they have color. I don't care if they're relaxer. If they shouldn't lose hair. They shouldn't have flakes. You don't want to go to that stylist if they go to them on a regular basis and they have problems. Now, if they're doing stuff at home, playing kitchen tissue, then it's not the stylist's fault. But you want to make the change when it comes to chemical changes. And ladies, my natural ladies out there, you have relaxed, you have color, you're not natural completely. you are not natural, you have your natural curl pattern, which is changing slightly if you have a permanent color. But you definitely don't have natural hair anymore because you have a relaxer. Because you have a permanent color, if that's the case. So remember, you have to pay attention to who's doing those chemical changes, and you need a colorist. You need someone who specializes in hair color with the natural hair. And if you wear relaxers, of course, and you're trying to wear relaxer color combination, let me speak up, okay? You're trying to wear relaxer color combination, then you need to make sure that it's bugging me, this one side of my head is just flat. Okay. I think that's better. Okay, yeah, alright, so you have to have someone who specializes in relaxer color combination so that you don't lose hair. Alright, says, can I care for this change? Oh my goodness, that is so important. And I see this a lot with moms when they relax their daughter's hair, or they transition, or people transition. Have I empowered myself to the point where I can take care of whatever this change is? Am I willing to follow a strict hair care and scalp care program after my change? Crucial. Some people don't have time. They don't want to get under the dryer and deep condition. So don't change. If you're not going to deep condition, don't put chemicals in your hair. Period. Because you need to deep condition periodically to manage. But the need to deep condition is going to be greater if you make a change like that. Is it something that I really want to do? And I know I'm pretty repetitious or redundant with that question, but I don't care. Do you really want to make this change? And because all of these other questions have to be answered. Now, if after answering the questions above, you decide to make the hair change, then it's time for the next step. You say, okay, I hear you, hair doctor, but I want to make the change anyway. No problem, no worries, I'm here. First, you got to do your research, which will include finding the right professional. I said that already, but I'm going to say it again. Finding the right professional. Now, I don't care if it's a haircut. I don't care if it's a chop. I don't care what. You need to find the right professional to help you with the change, even if it's not a chemical change. If you research and find that there are too many risks involved, and you have to research the change itself. Research the change itself to see what's involved. Now, if you do that research and you find there are too many risks involved and you cannot find the right professional to help you with the change, then don't behave negatively. Remember, we talked about that. That negative behavior, how we behave, causes a lot of our hair problems. Don't behave negatively. Do not make the change anyway. Don't do it, ladies, gentlemen, don't do it. Research questions. Okay, and I'm going to do this for let's do this. Okay, here's an example of someone with chemicals, and I know we talk a lot, and most of you out there have natural hair. But let's do this because I absolutely love all of you, and my chemical babies out there, they need help. So here's this example of a checklist for someone who's trying to make a chemical change. And also you folks who are natural, who would like to wear color. So we need to check, you need this checklist. I think it will be appropriate to use a chemical hair service as an example because of permanent relaxers, permanent hair colors, permanent waves, so my straight hair sisters, the leading causes of hair loss. The leading cause, and let me just say this because I want you to understand, the leading cause of hair loss among women are chemical changes. Chemical changes they make on their hair, whether it's hair color, whether it's permanent relaxer, permanent waves, it doesn't matter. If it's a chemical involved, that's the leading cause. The next leading cause, in case you want to know, is heated tools. Okay, but let's talk about the chemicals. So we're going to do this research questions, okay? Get your pen ready, get your paper ready. Which chemicals will be used? That's the first thing you want to know, is which chemicals will be used to make the change. what are the dangers of using that particular chemical? And a lot of ladies out there who stop relaxers, you know a lot of those dangers. Okay, what effects will the chemicals have on my hair type? You have to look at the type of hair that you have. You have to look at the texture hair you have, type meaning the shape, texture meaning the size. What will this affect? How will it affect my hair? Okay. Alright, the next question, what percentage of hair loss occurs when these particular chemicals are used on hair type or texture such as mine? That's a very good question. What should I expect the outcome to be? So ask, my hair color, with this color, if I put that color, what will it be? What will I look like? Because if you're not careful, what will happen, you'll end up making this change over and over and over again because you didn't like it. So we need to know what the outcome will be. Have some idea. Look for people who've had this. Alright, and then how often can I safely use the chemical? Yeah, because there's the retouches, whether it's relaxer retouch, permanent wave retouch, or color retouch. You're going to have to go back and get those. So you gotta know, you gotta know, you gotta know. Alright, so once you have researched as much as you can, and those are just a few questions, and as you're writing them, you'll think of some things. I just want you to be a little bit more analytical about this. I want you to just kind of stop and think. Okay, let's try to get this last thing in. Once you have researched as much as you can about the chemicals, you should start researching professional help. Important. First, who, and I want to get all these in, so I'm going to go pretty quick. Who has experience working with this type of chemical service on my texture and type hair? Ooh, that's a big one. Can he or she answer the questions I have about chemicals? You want to get a list of questions, ask complete questions, and wait for complete answers when you're speaking with that professional. And you want to do a little interview. Who's going to take the time to give me a consultation? It doesn't have to be in person. It can be by phone. What professional will take the time to do that? And that helps you decide, because people who want to gain a clientele will at least do it by phone. Some will even do it in person for free. Can I talk with some of his or her clients who have received the chemical service? That's really important. Talking to people, finding out how well they deal with that chemical service is important. You can even arrange to meet them in person or even by phone. Is a maintenance hair and scalp care program offered? You want your professional to tell you how to take care of your hair and scalp after that chemical. Crucial. That's a big one. Okay, what needs to be done for the upkeep? Wow. How many of you have gotten certain hairstyles, chemical changes, color, and you just did it? No upkeep. It's like whatever I normally do. And they said, well, I've had patients come in and say, well, I'm doing the same thing I always do, and my hair came out. I use the same products. I'm like, well, did you make a change? Yeah, I just got a little color. Changes have to occur with the color. Changes have to occur in your maintenance program. Your moisture and protein levels are up and down, sometimes all over the place. So you're going to be weaker and maybe drier, and you have to address that. Okay, now, by doing the legwork beforehand, you are less likely to have problems afterwards. It's really that simple. As you become educated and follow the steps that I'm laying out in this guide, you will be ready to make any change you want. You'll be able to do that, and you'll be happy, and you won't lose hair. And that's the goal, that you are stable. Now next week, we're going to talk about preventing aging of your hair and scalp. Now, how does our hair and scalp age? Well, we're going to talk about that next week. How do I prevent my hair and scalp from aging? We think about ways to prevent our face from aging, but how about our scalp and hair? So I'm Lisa Ackberry, your hair doctor. To God be the glory in Jesus. You know who I serve. I love you. I'll see you next week right here on Ask the Hair Doctor. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, or evening.